All right, this first part in gas laws is just practicing some conversions. So you'll want your handout that has those conversion factors handy, and I'll review which ones you got to know and which ones you don't. So here we have Denver, Colorado with a pressure of 24.9 inches of mercury, and we want to convert that. So first we want to convert it to atmospheres. So let's just start here, 24.9 inches of mercury. And we know from our chart that 29.92 inches of mercury equals 1 atmosphere. Okay. All right, so when you do that, you get 0.832 atmospheres. We'll go with 3 significant figures on that one. To PSI, again, PSI is not something you really are going to, I'm not going to ask you to remember. Just use your reference chart. I'm not going to ask you to remember inches of mercury really either. So here we know that 29.92 inches of mercury, that's going to go the same way. And equals, PSI is 14.7. Pounds per square inch is what PSI stands for. So let's take 24.9 times 14.7 and divide by 29.92. So 12.2. 12.2 PSI. Millimeters of mercury. Now, if you didn't happen to have your conversion factor, you can go, oh, well, I know how to get from inches to millimeters, and you would be correct. But we're not going to do that. We're just going to use our conversion chart. So we know 24.9 inches of mercury is 760 millimeters of mercury. All right, so millimeters of mercury, that's when you got to know. So not to inches of mercury, but you have to remember that 760 millimeters of mercury equals 1 atmosphere. That's the one you have to know. All right, so let's get an answer here. 24.9 times 760 divide, whoa, I wrote that wrong. 29.92, sorry. Divided by 29.92. Y'all gotta watch me on this. 632. 632 millimeters of mercury. Okay, now it wants to go to pascals. Same thing, 24.9 inches of mercury. 29.92 inches of mercury corresponds to 101,325 pascals. So normally we use kilopascals, but let's just follow what it asks us to do. 101,325 and divide by 29.92. So here we get 84,324 pascals, or if you divide by 1,000, 84.3 kilopascals. Both of those would be correct.